What's going on, Jeromes? So, unfortunately, it's mock draft season for the Minnesota Vikings, and I always get caught flat-footed. It feels like it comes out of nowhere, where it's like football, mock draft 75.0. But Pro Football Focus, our guy Trevor Sikkema, just put out his 2024 NFL mock draft 4.0. We're on 4.0. So this is a first rounder, and the Vikings currently, as of right, sit at number 12 overall, but this could potentially be the deepest quarterback class in NFL history, and the Vikings, you draft where you draft, and you could maneuver a little bit, and I think that the Vikings could and should come away with their quarterback of the future, and also I don't think that it precludes them from re-signing Kirk Cousins. I think that the combo platter of re-signing Kirk to a 1 to 2 year deal, and then also drafting a quarterback high, I think that's going to be the best course of action for the Vikings. So getting on in. The Bears sticking and picking. Caleb Williams, welcome to the Windy City. It's unfortunate the Bears are going to ruin Caleb Williams. But also, hey, Justin Fields is going to be available. Although Justin Fields to the Falcons, for me, I think is the best fit. But we'll see. Drake May going to the Commies. Unfortunately, they're going to ruin him. Although I think that after draft season, I think that teams could fall in love with Drake May's size, his sturdiness, as well as his arm talent. I think he could go number one. I've been saying that for a while. Drake May 1. Go un, deux, trois. Win, play, show. Quarterback. Patriots at 3. Jaden Daniels, whether it's Belichick, whether it's whoever. Brian Flores finally got himself a quarterback. Jaden Daniels. There you go. But I think that Daniels being top 5, I don't think that's insane. And also I think with the quarterback tax, I think that there will probably at least be 3 quarterbacks going in the top 10. I think that there could be 5, 6 going in the first round. Number 4, Marvin Harrison Jr. The Cardinals, that's great. So they're going to roll with Kyler, and then they just stick and pick and get Harrison Jr. It's beautiful, man. The Giants picking up Malik Neighbors. Now, I think that the Giants could be in the market for a quarterback. They can get out from underneath Daniel Jones' contract without too much muss and fuss, but they need more difference makers on the outside. And as much hype as Harrison Jr. gets, I mean, Neighbors is certainly right there, man. He's right there. So I think the Giants picking him up here makes a lot of sense. The Chargers picking up Joe Alt now. A little bit surprising. So they have Slater, and all of a sudden you're going to put Alt on the other side. I don't know, man. I don't know. Now, you could say that this could work out. I mean, Penei Sewell went from left tackle to right tackle with the Lions, sure, but I feel like this could be a trade down spot. There's no trades in this mock draft, but I don't know. Could they go receiver again in this spot? Sure. I mean, they're starting to age out there, or could they crack the seal on the edge rushers? Jared Verse in this spot, maybe. Sure. Fashanu going to the Tennessee Titans. You're getting some offensive line help for Will Levis, I guess. Again, another offensive tackle. Fuaga from Oregon State, who's really shot up draft boards, going to the Jets. So getting some protection from Aaron Rodgers' hollow bird bones ass makes sense. Penix Jr. going to the Falcons. Yeah. I think that Penix could easily shoot up draft boards. Now, I know a lot of people says like, well, I got Michael Penix in the second round of this mock draft simulator in January. Yeah, I understand. But Penix Jr., if those medicals check out, I think that he has a chance to really shoot up boards. Now, some teams may have him off of their board altogether because of age, because of his medical issues with his knees and also his shoulders, but the dude is talented. The dude is really talented. That ball just pops, man. The Bears at 10, circle back. Rome Odunze coming in Washington. So, I mean, Penix Jr. certainly benefited from having a trio of NFL caliber receivers. Odunze, I mean, this is a very good wide receiver class. This is a very good offensive tackle class. And since the Vikings are pretty solid at both, ideally, it could certainly help them push talent down the board. But Odunze going to Chicago with Caleb Williams and DJ Moore, I mean, they might have a stew going. The Raiders, is this the first defensive player? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, PFF, getting after it. So Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. Now, there's going to be a lot of really high-end corners in this class as well. But Wiggins, former teammate Andrew Booth Jr., nailed it going to the Raiders in this spot. Now, Raiders certainly could go quarterback here, but they pass. Vikings at 12 going Bo Nix, Bo knows. This is what I wrote. 5 quarterbacks in the top 12 would make for a wild opening night of the 2024 NFL Draft, but until these teams actually fill their needs at the position. Dipping into this very talented 2024 signal caller class, again, feels plausible. If you've seen what Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell has done with his quarterbacks this year, you have to be somewhat excited about what he could do with Nix's experience, high football IQ, and dual threat ability. And, Bo Nix, again, another one of these older guys, another one of these transfers who were, again, so Bo Nix's dad played at Auburn. And obviously, worship Bo Jackson. Bo Nix, like Bo is his legal name, B-O. It's not short for like Beaumont or Bocephus. I mean, they're all in. So having your kid be the quarterback at Auburn, that's awesome. Didn't work out on the Plains, but he's been fantastic the last 2 years in Oregon. And he's a gamer. He's got a quick release, a good arm talent as well, a great improvising. Now, he's not a running quarterback. He's a quarterback who can run. Do need to work on mechanics, but also I feel like his offense has been held against him, but I think that he can operate outside of the Oregon offense. Like he was in the Oregon offense. The Oregon offense wasn't there because of him, because of lack of arm talent. So he certainly has all that. Plus, I think he's really matured as a passer the last 2 years in Eugene. So I think that, I mean, it's going to be interesting because there are several quarterbacks in this class which I think could fit the bill for the Vikings, whether it's May, Williams, Daniels, Penix, McCarthy, Bo Nix. McCarthy's not even in the first round of this mock draft. Or Jordan Travis, again, Kwesi loves him, the injured guys. Or Cam Ward is certainly interesting. Or Michael Pratt will raise an eyebrow or two. I mean, this is a deep quarterback class. We talked about, hey, there literally could be 10 quarterbacks taken in the first 3 rounds. And I don't think that's insane. Saints going with Verse. First edge rusher off the board. This also could be a spot where the Vikings go defensive line or edge, depending on what happens with Danielle Hunter in free agency, and then potentially circle back, say second round, take a look at J.J. McCarthy if he sneaks out of the first, or Cam Ward, or whoever. And there's that Newton, which... So... I'm all about rebuilding the defensive line. We have the meats, Tavondre Sweat, Byron Murphy Jr., Chris Jenkins, but Jerzon Newton is a stud, absolute stud. Now, he's a little bit undersized, a little bit more in that 3-tech mold, and TBD how he would fit in up front with a 3-man line, especially if Flores is back, but I don't care. Adjust your scheme to your talent. Don't have talent fit in your scheme. Because Newton, don't want to say he's Aaron Donald adjacent, but he's got a great first step. He can get quick penetration. He's good against the run for his size. He would be a lot of fun, man. How does Brock Bowers fall to the Bengals at 16? I don't know, man. Who knows? Dallas Turner going to Arizona. It's a nice first round for them. Latham going to the Steelers. Just so have him run quarterback power on the 2-point conversion. Cooper DeJean going to the Packers. Packers fans would love Cooper DeJean. Would love him. Coop. Yeah. Latu go to the Bucks. Now, Latu, I think, could be the first edge rusher off the board, but medicals are going to have to be checked out. We'll see. McKinstry. I like McKinstry, man. I like both the Alabama corners this year. Well, actually, what's not to like? Let's see your Mims. Again, this is a great offensive tackle class. Brian Thomas Jr. Going to the Bills. I mean, McDaniels and Penix are very good, except let's not act like they're throwing to dudes who are going to work at 7-Eleven. Keon Coleman. Now, I feel like, so Keon Coleman is sort of like Quentin Johnston this year, but could he be pushed on boards just because of Quentin Johnston? Maybe. But the Chiefs landing him in this spot, and the whole thing about Mahomes needs a tall receiver makes sense. Guyton. Again, this is a good offensive line class. Yeah. Also pretty deep at cornerback. Then Lad McConkey going to the Panthers. Like, you can write your own jokes. Lad McConkey learning from Adam Thielen. Go ahead. But McConkey is a stud. And then Tez Walker. I mean, Walker. The fact that Walker was oddly ineligible for a number of games, I think that certainly was a detriment to Drake May and UNC this year. But I mean, Tez Walker's a stud. Absolute stud, man. But the Vikings in this spot, coming away with Bo Nix at 12, and then they certainly could and should feast on defensive line on day 2. Again, Tavondre Sweat, Byron Murphy Jr., Chris Jenkins. I mean, there's Howard Cross third. There's going to be some really interesting defensive line names out there as well as cornerback. So again, I think that's the Vikings' three main needs as of right now. Well, you could toss edge in there pending what happens with Daniil, but quarterback of the future, defensive line, cornerback. I think that's where the Vikings need to hammer right now. But your thoughts are thoughts of Vikings go bonos in Pro Football Focus's latest mock draft. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.